What's up, horse racing fans? Welcome to the Breeders' Cup episode of the Inside Post. We finally have our picks for Saturday, the classic day at Del Mar for November 2nd. Going through this full card, races 4 through 12, giving you our top picks and long shot contenders for you to wager on at your discretion. With a couple top picks, a second choice contender, and as always, those lovely long shot picks that everyone likes. So we're going to kick it off in race 4, 7 furlongs. The Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. Going to the outside in here as our top pick, number 9, Ways and Means. She looks the best right now, best form. 3 wins in her last 3. 104, 101 speed figures look phenomenal. Coming into this Filly and Mare Sprint, she looks the best of the class, rightfully so. Out of Practical Joke, Chad Brown gives Flavion Pratt the board yet again. 7-4, looking to pick up a pretty big Breeders' Cup win for her resume and whatever she may do as her 4-year-old season. It's kind of up in the air of where she's going to go next year. Next, back to the inside, number 4, Vava, Irad Ortiz for Sherry DeVoe. Another one that's kind of in really good form, was beaten out by Society and Skilla last time out, finishing 3rd in that Ballerina. So I think this horse will definitely rebound. Again, as you can see, she had 2 really good wins in the Derby City Distaff and the Chicago Grade 1 and Grade 3 stakes race there with 99 and 103 speed figures. So she's got the numbers to back it up. We'll see which horse is going to show up today for her. And then we have the 5-year-old in Society with Tyler Geffleon, Steve Asmussen as our third pick. Winner last time in that Ballerina, 102 speed figure. Really good speed number that she was able to post basically for her 2024 racing season. Beat out the Skilla and Vava, but Vava did get the best of her in the Chicago, so we'll see if those two will go at it yet again in here, giving us a pretty good matchup for this Filly and Mare Sprint. Long shot will be Skilla. She is 10-1 currently with Mike Smith for Wilmot. Like I said, a lot of seconds at the Ballerina and then a Grade 1 stakes race at Del Mar, so she does have that, but it was second, finished to Adar Manor. Comes in a little slower on the speed side of things, but does get Mike Smith back aboard her, so that should be interesting enough. And at 10-1, could be worth a pretty good play in here for your underneaths as well. All right, race 5. Looking at 5 furlong turf, so we got the turf sprint in here, the Breeders' Cup turf sprint, a Grade 1 $1 million purse for these horses. Top pick, going with a little bit of a price in here, and Star of Mystery, William Buick and Charlie Appleby. Kind of had a struggling day as far as for the future Friday. Future Stars of Tomorrow, whatever. Struggled on that day, so we'll see if they can rebound on the turf in here. For Go Dolphin, this one's a pretty good one out of Kodiak, however. Has raced here in the States 2 times at Saratoga, 1 time at Keeneland, Grade 2, Grade 3s. 3rd, 2nd, and a 1st. 107 was the best speed figure in that quick call at Saratoga. Comes 3rd in the Jalper, was beat out by Cogburn, who's also in here. Who will actually be our second play, obviously 7-5 and rightfully so. 3 wins fired off in the turf sprint, the Jalper, and the turf sprint at Churchill Downs. So the Cogburn's obviously in really good form, just trying to beat it with a price in here, and I think what we're getting as Star of Mystery could be a good play if you're against Cogburn. I think that's the rightfully so one, or a pretty good one to try to beat Cogburn with. The DRF forms look pretty good, are pointing towards Star of Mystery out of her 2 works. So he looks pretty good. So we'll see if he's able to or if she's able to come in and kind of run against a little bit of an older company. But rightfully so, 7-5, rightfully on Cogburn, trying to take a stab against in here. Next, we got Bradsell, currently number 12, 7-2. Archie Watson, Holly Doyle, second last time out, and the long champ in France, 117 time form rating in there. Has been running against Believing, another really good horse that's also in here. So should be able to find its way in here. I just think the horse, from what it's come from in Europe to what it's coming into here, these slew of Grade Ones that the horses ran in, a first or two firsts, beating out Believing and some of the other horses in here. Rightfully so, the horse has been heavily bet over there. Comes in here, obviously probably going to take some money as well. Probably going to be second choice to Cockburn, but another good price play. And the one that's played against it or has ran second to Brad Still is being Believing. Number 1, Ryan Moore, George Bowie. Comes out of the same similar races again as Brad Still, just finishing second behind each time. So should be able to, again, set up, run nicely. Looks like the horse can come off of the pace and rally from late. So being in the one hole should not hurt this horse at all and should be able to make a run late in the race. Race 6, going a mile and an eighth. We have the Breeders' Cup Distaff. What this race could have been, now that Idiomatic has been put out of this race and kind of retired early, we have, yes, Torpedo Anna, who's still the top 3-year-old filly, possibly even the top 3-year-old horse right now in the country, depending on what kind of happens later in the card in the Classic. But she's done no wrong. She was beat out in the drivers, obviously, by the boys' fierceness in there. Rightfully so. He was supposed to beat her that day, but she rebounded in the cotillion and put those away as well. Probably going to run into something similar in here. There's not much competition for her that can hold a candle to her speed figures or the way that she just hits the track in the morning and looks like an absolute grizzly, as they call her, when she hits the track. If you do, a couple stabs you could try. Awesome result. The Japan horse coming in looks really good. Coming out of that Breeders' Gold Cup in Japan on a sloppy track. Winning there rather easily, 7 for 7, unbeaten so far coming in. This is probably the horse that's going to get a lot of talk of, can it beat Torpedo Anna, or is Torpedo Anna going to be the one that gives this horse its first loss? Out of Justified, 4-year-old, looks really good. Speed figures are so a little off of Torpedo Anna's if you kind of compared them to what they've been running in the States, but a pretty good price in here, 4-1. Probably going to get bet pretty good in here to 2, maybe 3-1, just because without some of these other horses. Next, you have Raging Sea, our third pick, another one with 3 wins in a row. The Shuvi, the Grade 1 at Saratoga in the Belladam, Grade 2 Belmont at Aqueduct, all going a mile and an eighth. So in really good form for Raging Sea right now. Beat out Idiomatic at that Saratoga Grade 1 stakes race, so we'll see if she's in that form. Idiomatic is not in this race, so Raging Sea should have a pretty good go at it yet again and see if she can kind of run with Torpedo Anna or possibly the Awesome Result. And a long shot back to the rail, going with Candied. Has been running with Idiomatic, Torpedo Anna here and there, seconds and thirds. I just think this horse has a really good opportunity to hit the board. Especially if Raging Sea or Awesome Result, just don't fire. I think this horse at 15-1 has some really good value in a type of exacta trifecta wager on a field that's kind of short, top heavy, with Torpedo Anna and possibly Awesome Result being your heavy favorites. Race 7. Back to the turf, 1/2 mile and a half. We have the Breeders' Cup turf, Grade 1 turf for 3-year-olds and up. Looks really good. These turf races are incredibly tough. Rightfully so. They seem like they always are in the Breeders' Cup. Top pick, Rebels Romance. Kind of looks really good. Currently for Charlie Appleby, William Buick. Again, kind of had a rough go Friday, so we'll see what they're able to bounce back and do on Saturday. But I think this one has a really good chance to run well, run big for these connections for Godolphin out of Dubawi. But again, we'll have to run it against some other American contingents in here. But I think the horse could definitely set up and run well. The horse has won the British Cup Turf before when it was at Keeneland back in 2022. I believe skipped coming over here last year. So familiar with this race, kind of coming back after 2 years. So we'll see if Rebels Romance is able to kind of defend its title after sitting out 1 year. Has a slew of wins. I believe Maidan, Hong Kong, and Qatar. So the horse has done really well since kind of skipping out on our Breeders' Cup from last year. So we'll see if it's able to back up another win for the turf. Second, going with Farbridge in here, 6-1. Joel, Christophe Clement. Looked really good in that Turf Classic at Belmont at Aqueduct, beating out Warlike Goddess and Silver Knot. It's beat out Silver Knot now twice. Last time in the Sword Dancer, also beat out Measured Time, a really good Euro horse. And then it seems like the horse is just finding its stride right now as a 4-year-old, as it kind of goes into the winter season. So looks really good. Workouts have been comparable of, some of the other horses in here. Kind of gives it a nod or a plus rating on the Thoroughgraphs or Thorough sheets. So it looks really good. 6-1's a pretty good price on a horse that's, has a 101 speed figure and a win last time out in 2 big grade stakes races here in the States. The only question is, what are we going to get with this when the Del Mar turf, shipping in and stuff like that? We kind of seen it on Friday. The horses kind of change up some tactics or whatever may happen. So one thing to keep a note on and kind of watch that money. Next, we're going with number 3, Shahir or Sharir, Japan bred. In here as our third pick. Was second to Rebels Romance, and I believe it was the Dubai Shima Classic back in March. So kind of why we're using this one at 10-1 for our third pick. Just thought it had some value in here if it's going to run with Rebels Romance. Is ran against Augusta Rodin in the British Cup Turf last year, finishing third in there behind Up to the Mark and August Rodin. So another one that's kind of coming back to try to redemption, if you would, for its connections. And our long shot play, going back to the outside, and 10 Wingspan Irish bred here for Aidan O'Brien. Second last time out in the British Champions Fillies and Mares, was beat out by Capana. Second last time out before that in the Blandford. This was in Ireland. So hasn't raced since October 19th, and then shipped over. Got some workouts on the Del Mar track. Had to go through the whole quarantine process. So a sneaky pick in here. Another one with really good sires for Aidan O'Brien going to the turf. Bred, the Coolmore or Irish Coolmore. And comes in here kind of a lighter racehorse, as you can see, 3-year-old filly compared to some of these other 4 or 5-year-olds in here. So one to keep an eye on, again, 15-1, Aidan O'Brien on the turf. Kind of always got to watch these kind of sneaky picks in here, but he's definitely up against the other Euro and Charlie Appleby's Rebels Romance. Number 8, why we moved the Classic up, nobody knows, but here's the Breeders' Cup Classic on race 8 for the card, kicking off like the late pick 5. That just doesn't make much sense. But we're going to take Forever Young, number 1 in here, out of Japan for Yoshida Yahagi. Third in the Kentucky Derby. Everybody talks it up as maybe the best horse in the Kentucky Derby if he wasn't bumped, and him and Sierra Leone leaning in on each other kind of gave way for Mystic Dan to kind of win easily. Comes back off a pretty chunky layoff. October 20th, runs in the Japan Dirt Classic. Pretty good prep race for this as Japan horses kind of ship over. Wins there pretty easily, comfortably is what it says in the sheets. So definitely one that's going to be looked at, but I just don't see this horse taking a lot of money. And I think if we get 6-1, 5-1, there's great value here in this horse because we know it should run big. I don't think the rail's going to play into anything here. They've been working on, getting out of the gate, working on the gate breaks, working on paddock and all this stuff. Kind of just like what they did in the Kentucky Derby prep. So I think this one has a pretty good shot to run big for the connections and for Japan. They were really close last year with Dermot Jockey, so I think this is another one that they just, feel like they have to put in here in a horse that should set up to run. Next, we're going with City of Troy. Just interesting. If Aiden O'Brien is putting this horse in here, he's putting it in here for a reason. He knows the horse is good. Yes, it can run on turf. It's done everything right on turf. Why not try it on dirt, see what it's going to do? And I'm pretty sure it's going to the breeder's shed next year. So it's already got its contract signed for being one of the top sires. So might as well take advantage, try to get an extra paycheck in there with running it in the Classic and having that under his resume. Horse looks good. You know, it's got a nice bounce to a step for a 3-year-old, you know, kind of mature for a 3-year-old too in some of these bigger races that you have seen, the Epsom Derby, the English Guineas, the Coral Eclipse. This has kind of been all over in Great Britain. So shipping in is going to be the big question mark right now. I cannot believe a European horse is the favorite, morning line favorite for the Breeders' Cup Classic, but here we are talking about it. We'll see if the horse takes a lot of money or takes any play action whatsoever going forward. Third, we're using Next. I don't know, something about this horse that just kind of at 8-1. I don't think it's going to take a lot of money. Dwayne Machado, William Cowan. Look at all these slews of firsts right here. 23-13 for this, I believe, 6-year-old horse. Big old gray horse. Just an old timer that's kind of coming in here trying to still play with the boys. And rightfully so. Look what the horse has been able to do at, you know, going way long. So kind of going to shorten up in here to see, again, what's it going to hurt for these connections? Why not try? As it says, may not take money. Just unbelievable resume of what this horse has been able to build. Love the works that the horse has been putting in at Turfway before shipping to Del Mar. So obviously been training on the synthetic or the Tapeta. So we'll see if that kind of transitions to anything we see on the dirt for Next going forward in this race. And then probably our rightfully so third pick, long shot pick, is Sierra Leone. There's no way this horse is going to be a long shot. 12-1 is great value just because look at what the horse, I mean, it hasn't been outside of the money in all 8 starts. I mean, 8, 3, 3, and 2. The nose away from being Kentucky Derby winner, possibly, you know, if it's not lugging in, you go back. Belmont, same thing, kind of bumped inside Mindframe and Dornoch, then goes and gets beat out by Fierceness, and then it comes back in the Traverse and runs into Fierceness yet again, and Torpedo Anna. Just didn't have anything for them, either one of them, on those days. Now, he will have the pace to run into like he's had. It's just what trouble is he going to get himself into? Has he matured? We haven't seen him since August, so we kind of have that month and a half layoff. Hopefully they've been working on some stuff. We'll see if he's got the right bit in or what type of bit we're going to run with. He will get Flavia on a board, so obviously he's the jockey right now that Chad Brown's feeling the most confident with. I mean, at 12-1, he's got value to hit the board, obviously, so take a stab. Who knows? Wide open field, obviously, for this Breeders' Cup Classic. I mean, you have Arthur's Ride, who looks really good. Ushba Tesoro, who also looks good. Any of these horses you can make a case for. So, we'll see. Race 9, a mile and 3/8 on the turf, the Maker's Mark, fillies and mares turf. In here, going with number 2, Full Count Felicia, Irad Ortiz for Kevin Attard. Winner at Woodbine. Sometimes we get rare instances where these Woodbine shippers do win on Breeders' Cup Day, so we'll see if this is that one that Kevin Attard ships in from Woodbine that has some ability to run. The workouts look phenomenal if you look back at these 2 October 24th, October 13th, where it was the fastest on the day. So it looks really good coming in here at 12-1. We're going to try it. Going long, it just seems like crazy things happen on the turf. And this one has some value for sure. 101 speed figure. Last time out, Irad gets a mount in here. Back to this horse. He's been on it before last year, so we'll see if he can change it up. Next, 3, Cinderella's Dream. William Buick, Charlie Appleby. Has been here in the States, Belmont and Aqueduct, and Saratoga. Winner of both of those since it came over, so obviously this one's going to get played hard. 7 for 6 lifetime, has only one loss, and that was to Porta Fortuna, who's in another race. But that was the English Guineas, a grade 1 stakes race. At Newmarket, came over to the States right after that, 92, 95 speed figures, the Belmont Oaks and the Saratoga Oaks. Did it rightfully so, and looks really good in here yet again. Warlike Goddess will be our homebred horse for Junior Alvarado. Will Mott, coming out of that Turf Classic, beat out by Farbridge. We'll see. 100 speed figure, though, is comparable to some of the other top contingents in here, so should be able to back that up and run really well. In pretty good form. 2 seconds and a first in her last 3. So definitely rightfully so. Got to use Warlike Goddess in this race. And your long shot, not a big price in Mora, number 10. Currently 8-1. Flavion Pratt, another Kevin Attard horse. So obviously he's got a couple in here. So that's kind of what's always sneaky, watching these trainers put 2 in. But this horse was bet favorite in her last 2. So obviously that is interesting that the horse is 8-1, where it was, I think, 8-5, 6-5 in her last 2 starts. Her counterpart, Full Count Felicia, did beat her out last time out in that grade 1 at Woodbine. Not a big price, but at least that's something to take note of if she doesn't take any money. 8-1 is good value. Race 10, sprinting. We have the Breeders' Cup Sprint in here for 3-year-olds. Top pick, Straight No Chaser, has some flashy early speed for Johnny Velasquez, Dan Blacker. Winner last time out, I believe it was the San Antonita Sprint. Grade 2, 104 speed figure in there, did it from the lead. Again, another horse that looks really good. This is a My Racehorse own, so you know it's going to take some money, hopefully not a whole lot of money. Workouts look good, going 4, going 5 furlongs. Pretty sharp on the thoroughgraphs as well, getting him better on the workouts that he's put in. Second, Mulligan, another speedster, 105, 102 speed figures, 105 last time in that Forgo. Just blew him away, beat out Gun Pilot in there. Has been the post-time favorite the last 3 races that he's came out of. 9-5, 4 for 4, 2024. Just looks phenomenal right now, in great form. The works have been astounding as well. We're just using Straight No Chaser as maybe getting out early with Johnny V and pulling away. Mulligan looks like the definite horse to beat in here. Third, Federal Judge, another one, 106 speed figure in the grade 2 Phoenix at Keeneland, with Irad and Brad Cox. Flavion Pratt comes off of this mount. Irad gets the nod in here. Just another speedster that looks really good in the mornings at the workouts. Really good form coming off of a pretty good race, and a 106 speed figure just looks phenomenal for this horse. And long shot, we're going with Don Frankie, Japanese. Comes out of the Cluster Cup in here first in there on a muddy track. The speed form is kind of hard to judge of what this one is or what it's at. Bad thing in here, the horse was training with America Bikini, who did not fire whatsoever, so probably not a good long shot play for us in here, but we're still going to take it because just different things happen from day to day, Friday to Saturday. We'll see if it changes up anything, but that one's kind of like the one. Gun Pilot may have some value, running second to Mulligan last time out at a big price, 20-1 in there, if you were trying to steer clear of the Japanese contingents. Race 11, nearing the end. The Breeders' Cup Mile. This was on the turf as well. And our top pick, number 12, Carl Spackler, Chad Brown, Tyler Gaffleone. 3 wins in his last 3. 4-star day, the turf mile, Saratoga and Keeneland all going over 100 on his speed figures. Looks really good right now, in great form, beating out More Than Looks in both of those thorough sheets. It looks phenomenal with him working out right now. Just amazing what he's been able to do. I believe he's been working with Chili Flag, who's also in here, and he's just been able to outwork him in the mornings when they go together. So that's impressive there. for Carl Spackler, who is in, like I said, great form, comes in top, ready to go for this Breeders' Cup Turf Mile. Number 6, notable speech, Charlie Appleby, William Buick. The Euro contingent that Carl Spackler will have to go up against is this one, and obviously Porta Fortuna, both of our second and third picks. Both coming out of Grade 1 stakes races, both, Porta Fortuna winning its notable speech, finishing 5th in there, just kind of a troubled out, if you would. But time before that, notable speech put in a really good race at Sussex, Grade 1 in there, 120 on the time form rating, so it just looks phenomenal on the speed. Porta Fortuna has not put up any time form ratings of that nature of 120, so notable speech, rightfully so, being that second pick in here. Geoglyph, another Japanese horse to use. The time forms are closer to 120s of notable speech, so kind of throwing that one in. The Thoroughgraphs look pretty good on the workouts as well. Finished second in that Sapporo Kinen, a Grade 2 stakes race in Japan. Has been training at the Del Mar track, so that's always a positive to see. Times look really good on the first workout that the horse put in, and then kind of got a little bit quicker in that second work. So that's always a good sign for horses that come in, get a feel for the track and the atmosphere, and then they always go faster. So rightfully so, to use, Geoglyph has a pretty good long shot play in here at 20-1. And the finale, race 12, the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. Not sure why we made it the finale, but this is where we ended. Topic, domestic product, Chad Brown, Flavion Pratt. Let's end it with a home state win for Chad Brown and Flavion Pratt, the Clairvich Stables. This 3-year-old Out of Practical Joke is in great form, coming out of the Dwyer and the Allen Jerkins. Grade 3, Grade 1 stakes win, 106 speed figure, career best in that Allen Jerkins at Saratoga, going 7 furlongs. So obviously gonna have to pick that up a little bit in here, but I think the horse is definitely capable, and like I said, good form, good workouts for itself right now, and kind of looks the best coming into this race for some of these other contingents. Second, Skippy Longstocking, a little bit older horse in here, the 5-year-old. Second in the Woodward. I think winner of the Charlestown Classic, Grade 2, 106 speed figure in there. 5th in the Whitney and 3rd in the Stephen Foster behind King's Barn and Arthur's Ride. So decides to skip the Classic points in here, just kind of like Seize the Grey did in Muth. So another one that's in good form. Kind of would like to see probably a Grade 1, because the last one was the Whitney and he just faltered in there, finishing 5th, but I think he's rebounded pretty good in the Charlestown and the Woodward, so should be pointed right back, and probably sitting on a big race, rightfully so, for Saffy Joseph and Irad Ortiz. Third, we're going to use Muth. Not sure what to make of his California Crown, finishing 6th in there behind Subsandor, National Treasure. Newgate just kind of fell apart whatsoever. Comes out of the Shared Belief. That was where he won, which rightfully shows, just a stakes race, kind of like a tune-up. Arkansas Derby, kind of the same thing in there. Again, another tune-up. He beat Mystic Dan. Skips the Derby, skips all that, all the Triple Crown races. I believe he was injured, sick, I can't remember, for the Belmont or Preakness, so goes into the Shared Belief. Obviously he should have won that, but then just kind of fell apart in that California Crown. 78 speed figure, just empty whatsoever, so maybe the miles where obviously he's best suited, so that's where they're kind of sticking him at in here. And the long shot play, Coach Dwayne Lucas sends Seize the Grey in here out of the Classic, rightfully so, just because of what he's kind of ran into all summer of Sierra Leone, Dornoch, Fierceness, and then was able to pick up in the Pennsylvania Derby. His win to kind of set him up for this Breeders' Cup race, beating out Stronghold and Dragoon Guard. I think he sits on a big race in here at 10-1. He's got value just because you always doubt this horse and he runs big. So one to definitely take into consideration. I think this is a wide open race for the finale. We do have some speedsters, but Seize the Gray is always a super sneaky horse, of what he's able to do and how just he knows how to find the winner's circle and put himself into right positions to win big races. All right, so there's our rundown of the Saturday card for Breeders' Cup. Saturday for the Breeders' Cup Classic. Like I said, kind of sticking it in the middle here in race 8. So may have to go back into the video, catch our Breeders' Cup Classic races analysis. But make sure to like, subscribe down below. This only kicks off our racing into the new year, basically, with the Kentucky Derby preps starting to happen and more racing videos being put out leading up to the Kentucky Derby. So we hopefully you won big on Friday. Hopefully you continue to win big on Saturday. We wish you the best of luck.